Welcome to this Tide commercial known as Dave Day, here with Dave Seaman, Standard Speaker Sports Editor. Dave, it happened. We said it would happen. You shouldn't be surprised. Well, Dave and I both said the Eagles would win the Super Bowl. So did Ronnie Marchetti. And yet they were underdogs, Dave, and yet they trailed in this game. Doug Peterson had to make some pretty gutsy calls down the stretch, and the Eagles come out Super Bowl champions. But with that offense, it just seemed like they weren't going to be denied, even though Tom Brady had one last chance.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that the Eagles' offense moved at will in that game, really, and so did the Patriots for that matter. But the Eagles came up with the one defensive stop that they had to. They made the strip sack of Brady to preserve the win. But you go back to that drive you talked about, that 4th and 1 call near midfield with about 5.5 minutes left in the game was the gutsiest call, I thought. The trick play was interesting at halftime, to say the least. It gave the Eagles momentum, and it really, gave the Eagles and their fans belief that they could possibly win the game. But the call, 4th and 1 at midfield, they weren't stopping the Patriots at that point, too. So I guess he looked at it as if, you punt the ball back to the the Patriots at that point. The Patriots could milk a lot of the clock, and but he decided to go for it. Foles came with a key pass to Zach Ertz. They moved the change, a couple more first downs, and the Eagles were in position to score again. When you think maybe they'll go for a field goal and play it safe, no, that's not their MO. They haven't been that way all season. They go for the touchdown and another Foles the Ertz pass, and the Eagles go ahead and they keep the lead, and Philly fans are celebrating.
Dave, locally, Thursday is going to be a big day. Forget about the snow for high school basketball. Forget about the snow today. Marion Colts, they will play Panther Valley as they try to duel it out for Division III of the Schuylkill League, the championship there to get into the Schuylkill League playoffs. And the Hazelton area Lady Cougars, they'll play Crestwood. And Dave, down the stretch, though, the Lady Cougars, they have it really tough. They still have to play Dallas. They're going to have to play Pittston to close things out. So even if they beat Crestwood, things are not all said and done.
Yeah, Lady Cougars have been a little inconsistent. It's going to be a challenge. They're going to have their A game because the Pittston and Dallas games are both on the road, if I'm not mistaken. So, you have a senior leader in Maddie Morocco who's been there before. Now it's her turn to pick up the younger players and see what they can do.
Dave, Hazelton area high school boys basketball, you've been covering that team all season long. As we wind down the regular season, only about a week and a half left. What's going on with the Cougars as they look toward district playoffs?
It's just keep it going. That's what they've been playing well all year, where they really haven't given teams much of a chance to to breathe, really. I mean the game against Myers was a wake up call. Joey Grula didn't play in that game. He's bothered by a wrist injury that occurred against Nanticoke earlier in the month. But he came back against Wyoming area. Then they beat Coughlin the following game, and you go into the last stretch of the season where you're in control of your destiny. I don't think Mike Joseph could have scripted it any better. That right now they have the top seed for the upcoming District 2-4 tournament. They want to have that too. They want to put themselves in best position to get back to the arena, and ultimately that's what their goal is, to get back to the arena for the sub-regional final, and this time win that game.
Well, Dave, opening ceremonies this Friday as the Olympics will kick off in South Korea. Jason Turdeman is from Berwick. He will be in doubles luge. You remember him from the last Winter Games. And from Clark Summit, there's Adam Rapone, first openly gay male to compete for the United States in figure skating. Told Rolling Stone magazine, I was just a little gay kid in the middle of nowhere, PA. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of role models. I said if I was ever given a platform and had a chance, I would share my story. He is sharing his story, and we're looking forward to watching his Olympic journey. Will you be watching? I mean, are you a person who watches every night? Or you watch the opening ceremonies? Just pay attention what comes across your AP wire?
Yeah, a little bit of both. With the time change too, that's going to be a big difference in time. The Olympics come along every 4 years, winter and then the summer. I'm more of a summer Olympic guy, but it does pique your interest. Again, halfway across the world, and it just happens that it's in the busy stretch of our season too, with basketball playoffs and district swimming meets and wrestling. It all happens at once. So when you get a chance to peek at something that happens only rarely, yeah, you get to do that. But a lot of sports going on too, so that's just going to be a small part of it.
So do you have a favorite commercial during the Super Bowl?
I like the New York Giants one. Odell Beckham and Eli Manning commercial, probably my favorite. There's some people were making the comments that they look pretty healthy doing that commercial, and Beckham, he struggled with injuries all season, but they look pretty healthy doing that, and give the Giant fans something to cheer about, because they really didn't have much to cheer about this year. Especially with the rival Eagles winning the Super Bowl, it gave them a little bit something to smile about.
After the Super Bowl, I forget what New York paper it was, but it had that picture of Eli there, and it said Giants win, and then in parentheses it said Super Bowl ad, and then said, oh, by the way, Eagles Super Bowl champions. Well, Dave is our local sports champion here every week, and you'll see him again here on SSPTV News, and you can always read his work in the Standard Speaker.